first 4-0. All right, so let's take a look here. We've got a pretty decent hand here. Got a Paradise Druid, so we can get some ramp going. Falmire Knight is going to go to the back of the library. And kicking things off here with an Overgrown Tomb, taking a look at the other side of the battlefield. Got Growth Spiral. Now that card has been quite important for this ramp strategy, especially for players playing this. They always say, I want to find my Growth Spiral or at least a mana creature in hand. But I think Growth Spiral is a little bit more impactful.
I mean, both the ramp effects are good here. I mean, Mengucci's deck is very, very redundant in what it is trying to do. But I will say this, I really, really, really like this matchup for Chris.
Oh, yes.
Because Mengucci's deck is very single-minded. It's just trying to do one thing, which is to ramp, 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 ramp. Not a ton of interaction, obviously, and then try to kill your opponent with some sort of big spell or overwhelming advantage.
Yeah.
Kavartech, as we have learned over the past handful of tournaments and months, is he wants to kill you quickly.
Yes.
So while you're busy playing Leafkin Druids and Growth Spirals and other nonsense, you're being beaten down.
Yeah. Have a Questing Beast.
Yes.
So getting in for 4 points of damage did Chris Kvartek. He's got a Lovestruck Beast, Order of Midnight, Murderous Rider, and Paradise Druid at his disposal. No 4th land just yet, but he does have that Paradise Druid to keep things going. Identifying that, you know, ramp is kind of important to Andrea Mengucci, so getting rid of that poor little Leafkin Druid with Swift End. Now we're going to see a Lovestruck Beast, Heart's Desire, make a 1/1 token.
Yeah, and Kavartech, you know, these players have access to each other's deck lists.
Yeah.
So Kavartech knows exactly what Mengucci is doing, and Mengucci knows what Kavartech is doing. And if you're Mengucci, you know that, okay, my opponent is going to try to kill me fast. I mean, Mengucci literally just conceded the game on turn 4.
Yeah.
He missed his land drop. He knows he's dead.
Yep.
The game is just over. So this matchup, I think Andrea has actually brought a very good deck to the tournament because this format is slow, or it has slowed down, except for one person, maybe, of the 67. Kavartech. He's trying to kill the opponent as quickly as possible with Vivian, with Questing Beast, with Old Reggie.
Yeah.
Rotting Regisaur.
He gets Rotting Regisaur down on turn 3. He can play his Great Henge for 2 mana.
And these are cards that Mengucci does not want to play against, especially if they have Trample, and you just saw that in the first game.
Oh, yes. So Chris Kvartek with an easy victory. First and foremost here between these two excellent players. Now, I know you're a fan of Chris Kvartek.
A big fan.
Oh, yes. Now, he is looking pretty good for Worlds. And I bet you want to see him playing there, yeah?
I would love to see him play a beatdown deck at every tournament for the rest of my life. Kavartech and I, we are brothers I didn't know.
Oh, yes.
That's what we are.
He always brings something like so interesting and, you know, just fun to play.
Yeah, but
I think that's what I love about his decks, is they're always fun.
But it's always geared towards aggression. I mean, he was one of the first people on Brazen Bar when we were here for Mythic Championship 5, putting that in Simic food strategies. And now this weekend, you know, a lot of these Golgari decks, they're sacrifice-based, they're adventure-based, and he is, I would argue, beatdown-based. And I am very much in favor of that. Though I will say for this particular game, Mengucci has a healthy amount of interaction. You're going to see a Leafkin Druid here. He's got 2 copies of Aether Gust, and now that card that he had so much success last time we were in Long Beach, Nissa Who Shakes the World, that's in the grip too.
Oh yes, so it's not going to be the Lovestruck Beats because you got a Rotting Regisaur at your disposal, so that will hit the battlefield and start discarding things on Kavartek's upkeep. Drawing another Aether Gust, which does absolutely nothing against Sir Reggie. Unfortunately, no Embercleave for him in this matchup, but it's okay. Here comes Nissa Who Shakes the World.
Slightly awkward here in the fact that Mengucci has not 1, not 2, but 3 copies of Aether Gust in hand. Breeding Pool would be a great target. Island also works for the Nissa activation. Now, clearly no attack to be had here, as we're going to head back over to Kavartech, who has found his second source of green mana, and there's the battlefield tap there in Temple of Malady.
I wanted to see that Great Henge come down, but you know, it's all right. First and foremost, let's start attacking Nissa Who Shakes the World. Leafkin Druid is on chump duty, and it looks like we're going to Aether Gust that back to either the top or the bottom of Mengucci's library. Might as well use them. You've got 3.
Yeah, I mean, he's thinking about it right now. Of course, he can tap the Island and the Leafkin Druid to be able to do this, but he's actually just going to let the Leafkin Druid go. Now, do keep in mind that Nissa does double all the manas, as it were, at least the green mana, and Forest, and Breeding Pool. So able to drain a lot of mana, which means that Leafkin Druid isn't really necessary here. So chump block there, and we'll see what exactly Kavartek's going to do next.
So running out the Lovestruck Beast that's on an adventure, he's going to have to ditch one of these extremely powerful cards in hand, possibly the copy of Regisaur, I'd imagine, because you like a Questing Beast, you like a Vivian, and you love a Great Henge.
Well, the bad news here for Chris is he doesn't actually know what Mengucci has in hand right now. So he doesn't know, like we do here in the booth and everybody at home, that Mengucci's loaded up on Aether Gust. So all these green cards, the Questing Beast, the Vivian, the Great Henge, they're not particularly good right now. It's actually going to be Rotting Regisaur that's got to do a lot of work here.
I believe in Sir Reggie. Here come the islands and the forest swinging in. The island, excuse me, swinging in for 6 points of damage, taking Kavartech down to 14. Reginald is going to get rid of Another Rotting Regisaur. Here comes a Murderous Rider off the top. That's exactly what you want to see against a Nissa who shakes the world, who's getting going.
Yeah, Kavartech really wanted to resolve the Great Henge there. That would have been a huge play to get that on the battlefield. But again, Mengucci has all those copies of Aether Gust. So now Reggie's going to try to kill Nissa once again. I mean, potentially. I mean, this is a tough decision here for Mengucci because he might just want to go single block and then keep firing up creatures, but double block takes care of the problem.
So, Rotting Regisaur into the graveyard you go, loses 2 lands, draws another one off the top, still has the Aether Gust, and Nissa who shakes the world to bring anything to life that he wishes. Castle Ventress also on the battlefield, so he can get scrying, try and shore up his draws a little bit, get away from this flood.
Island's not a bad place to start here with the Nissa, but as you mentioned, the Castle Ventress, that could be integral to Mengucci actually closing this game out, because right now, while he's doing a nice job with Nissa and working towards Nissa's ultimate, you see the Murderous Rider / Swift End there for Kavartech, and he's got good cards in his hand, but he has to figure out how he wants to sequence these. And we may see, if Swift End shows up, we may see Gust target Nissa to redraw it and play it again next turn. Don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but that might be something that we see in exchange between these two great players.
Yeah, well, there's no other answer to keep the Planeswalker alive, unfortunately, for Mengucci. So, yeah, fire off the Swift End, see if we can get rid of this Planeswalker, and I can see deliberating. Yeah, he let this happen. He lets it happen. All right.
I'm a little surprised. Now there is the ability here, of course, to activate the Castle Ventress. You know, let your Planeswalker go and let's do this. So he's going to do that, and we'll see. Well, hopefully we get the idea of what he's scrying into. And it looks like he's going to leave Hydroid Krasis on top, so that's not too bad.
Not too shabby. You would love to have Nissa down though for some extra green mana there.
Oh yes, you would.
So just chipping away. Chris Kvartek is down to 6 now. He's going to have to start concerning himself with his life total. Hydroid Krasis is going to draw some cards, gain some life. Finds a Cavalier of Thorns off the top, not too shabby. But here comes the Questing Beast.
Kavartek's trying to get back on this one. You've got a 4/4 on the battlefield that can, of course, attack and take care of that 3/3 land, so that's not too bad. But again, we do see the Gust in hand for Mengucci.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to go towards Cavalier of Thorns first, but the great player from Italy is going to think things through just a bit before going to the Cavalier. Pardon me.
If Chris finds a green source, he can use Vivian to bite the birdie out the sky, but he's in a bit of a pickle here, I think. Struggling on lands, whereas Mengucci is looking pretty good, swinging in for the 3 points of damage. Taking Chris down to 3. That's a swamp.
It's not ideal.
I don't think there's a way out of this for him now.
Great Henge can be played, but I don't think that's going to actually help in this instance. I think that Vivian was one of the key cards, because you can play Great Henge, add some mana, gain a little bit of life.
So that'll keep him alive for now. Just chump block the Cavalier. But
well, he's actually got enough mana to Gust that, so yeah, this takes care of that, and this takes care of the game. So all 3 of those Aether Gusts were integral for Mengucci winning that game. And again, I want you to remember one thing before we go to this next one. Have the opportunity to Gust his own Nissa, let it die.
Yeah.
Use that last Gust appropriately on that Great Henge to seal the game. Not surprised to see a play of that caliber there from Andrea.
Not at all. He recognized that Nissa wasn't integral to him winning the matchup, so keeping it rather to disrupt his opponent's side of the battlefield. And just, get the job done there. So, sideboard time. Kavartech is ready to rock and roll. Mengucci just taking a few moments just to make sure he's got the right sideboard.
I like Kavartech. He plays quick.
Yeah.
He tries to kill his opponents quick. He sideboards quick. He's got dinner at 7.
Yeah.
Probably.
He's got plans. He needs to get this 5-0.
He's 3-0. Yeah, he's almost to 5-0. Done. No muss, no fuss. He does everything quick.
I love it. Taking a look at this opening hand. Does Kavartech love it? Falmar Knight. It's not great. That's very landy.
It's worse.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. So
You're gonna have to keep that, yeah.
What do you put back? Okay, Innkeeper 1. Ooh.
I kind of like both of those. Rather get to your Paradise Druid. Hopefully draw land.
It's definitely not an Innkeeper hand, and he wants to be aggressive in the matchup because the matchup is not about, card advantage and stuff like that.
All right, come on, Mengucci. I want to see Pain Bacon, please. I don't know if we'll get to that, considering Chris Kvartek's hand at the moment, but you never know.
You're another Edward Innkeeper, okay.
Got Noxious Grass to kill off any big threats, i.e. a Cavalier of Thorns, or hello, Nissa, who shakes the world. Getting things going with a Leafkin Druid. Going to crack the Fabled Passage, go and find our black source. right, still no third land for Kavartech, so he's a little bit behind here.
He's a little behind. Obviously, Mengucci has not taken advantage of the fact that his opponent is a mulligan to 5 shed. He's going to start with a Risen Reef. Castle Vantress is the land. Nice. Now you play a Temple, so that's a really nice exchange. And you found an Aether Gust on top with your Scry. And Kavartech has now found land number 3. So this is really, really nice here from Mengucci.
Yeah, he is off to a blistering start indeed. Murderous Rider is available for Kavartech, but he's going to decide first to run out Rotting Regisaur and try and pummel his way to victory, I think.
Yeah, the tough thing here, if you're Kavartech, is so you found your 7/6.
Yeah.
And that card is absolutely huge and can be a dominant card in a matchup like this. The problem is you do not have a lot to work with in regards to discarding because you've mulliganed twice and you're on the play. So he has to. There's no easy way to explain this, but he has to get his discards precisely correct.
Yeah.
Because if he, sometimes you can just go, oh, it doesn't matter, the first one, the second one. But because his resources are so constrained, he's got to nail it on what he's going to be discarding over the next turn or two.
Yeah. So quite a few options here for Mengucci, as you can see, everything in his hand highlighted. So just deciding which is the way he wants to go. Can play the Cavalier, get another trigger off the Risen Reef, find another land off the top of the library. And yeah, drawing a Hydro Crisis too. That's not too shabby.
Yes, I mean, this is pretty nice here for Mengucci.
Oh yeah.
Cavalier of Thorns is getting to work. Risen Reef is doing its thing. Gus is going to take care of the Paradise Druid, which is absolutely brutal because now if you're Kavartech, you probably have to put that on the bottom.
Oof.
You don't want to draw that again.
Yeah, Mengucci recognizing that mana is a bit of a problem here for Kavartech and just attacking it even further. VII is going to enter the bin, and Noxious Grasp will take care of Cavalier of Thorns. It's going to die. He's going to bring something back to the top of the library if he chooses to exile it. Man, this is rough for Kavartech.
Oh, it's very, very hard. Cavalier's going to go back on top of the deck. Here come the beatdowns. Straightforward enough. Risen Reef's going to get in the way, keep her life total high, because as long as Mengucci can convert all of these cards from being in his hand to on the battlefield, he's going to win the game because Kavartech is going to run out of cards to play, obviously, because of the big dinosaur.
Yeah. So if he does find a black source, Murderous Rider can take care of either the Cavalier of Thorns or Nissa, whoever comes down first. It's going to be Nissa who shakes the world.
Yeah, this turn is nice.
Ooh, boy. And Cavalier of Thorns, because why not? And Kavartech sees the writing on the wall, concedes
he
to Andrea Mengucci.
He concedes quick, too.
He does, yes. Andrea Mengucci going to 4-0, so that was a swift end to that matchup, indeed.
It
did you see what I did there?
I did. I'm picking up what you're putting